Welcome back to my animal education series. Today we're here at Clyde Penguin Reptilian with Tiffany to talk about a very interesting turtle that a lot of scientists couldn't even figure out how to describe. So, what can you tell us about this turtle here?
Well, this is a mata turtle. They are native to the Amazon rainforest and they love to live at the bottom of the riverbeds.
So the first thing I'm noticing about this turtle is just how, like, for lack of a better term, odd it looks.
Yes.
It's very different looking than a lot of other freshwater turtles that I've seen before. So let's start with the head here and how that is so much different than other turtles.
Yeah, so you'll see there's lots of skin flaps along the neck and along the head, and it's very triangular. And he's very upset. So all those skin flaps will help him blend into any of the dead leaf litter at the bottom of the river so that he can sit in ambush and hopefully shock any of the prey that come a little too close. And his eyes are at the tippy top of his head so he can see everything around him, and his nose has a little snorkel.
So obviously the snorkel will help him breathe and kind of stay hidden underwater. Instead of sticking his entire head up, you can just stick that up. And then the shell here is very differently shaped. It's not perfectly smooth. It kind of resembles, at least to me, an alligator sniping turtle.
Yeah.
How rough it is.
Yeah, so it's very flat, but still has a lot of that texture, so it's really good at looking like bark. It might be floating or sitting at the bottom of the river.
Out in your display enclosure, it kind of does look like tree bark just sitting on the bottom of that pool there. So at least it fooled me at first because I thought it was just decoration until I saw this head that was looking all unique. So you mentioned that these guys sit on the bottoms of rivers a lot, but what area are these turtles mainly found in?
So mainly the Amazon, kind of the northeastern, northwestern part of the Amazon, and as long as it's in a really deep river, they're perfectly happy.
And what kind of animals will these turtles eat? Because obviously they're ambush predators and they're very good at hiding. So what kind of animals would unfortunately have the misfortune of getting sucked into this animal's mouth?
Like other turtles, they're not that picky. Lots of frogs and any toads, fish that live in their area. If it swims by, gets a little too close, they're gonna eat it.
Now, I did mention that they suck in their food, and I thought that was a very fascinating way of eating the food. Do you mind describing that to the viewers?
Yeah, so what they'll do is they'll kind of sit and wait, a lot like a snapping turtle, but instead of snapping down, what they do is they open their jaw, and it creates a really low pressure vacuum. So they suck everything in, whether it's food or the water. They'll quickly shut it, the food stays in their mouth, and then the water will seep back out, and they'll swallow the prey whole.
I just think that's like super fascinating. When I was doing my research before this video, I always thought that was a super interesting way of doing it. I can't think of too many other animals that eat that way.
No, and every time I feed them, I know they have that vacuum. It still scares me. Every single time I give them food.
Now, what kind of animals would try to eat this weird-looking turtle?
Well, lucky, he is a turtle, so he has this nice shell to protect him. Pretty much anything that is strong enough to actually get into that shell, whether that's cats, large mammals, anything like that.
Or look at caimans potentially for that?
Possibly, yeah. If the caiman's big enough, sometimes caimans don't get
or the
as
turtle's
big.
small enough.
Yeah, when the turtles are small enough, anything's gonna try, but he's lucky and has this nice shell, so as long as they can get in the shell, it'll probably try.
Is there any sexual dimorphism between the male and female turtles?
Not as far as we know. They all generally look the same. I don't think we have a male and female. I think both of ours are female. So I haven't seen it myself. And again, I don't know how much studying has been done on dimorphism in mountain matas.
And in general, there isn't a whole lot known about the mata at all.
No, they're very hard to find. They're not a very common species, even in captivity. So scientists don't know very much of them.
Yeah, because I've been to a lot of zoos. The viewers know because they've kind of followed me along this entire time. But I hardly ever see matas in zoos.
Yeah.
Like it's every here and there you'll see it there, and like, oh, that's a nice surprise to see a mata.
Yeah, it is one nice thing that we like. We have some things that viewers won't actually see all that often.
So since there's no sexual dimorphism between the two genders, how do you tell the different sexes on these turtles?
So like most turtles, the male is going to have a concave plastron. So if we take a look at her clit, hers is very flat.
Yeah.
So this is indeed a female. And that's just, again, general turtle sexual difference for mating purposes.
I'm pretty sure on like most turtle species I've seen, it's always the same story. Like it's very, I can't remember the name of the species I saw. There's really no difference on the plastron between the two.
There's a couple that are like that, but generally the plastron will be a little different. Just again,
it's a mostly surefire way of telling from there. But what is your favorite thing about the mata turtle? Because obviously it's very interesting.
Yes.
You talked very highly of it off camera, so.
Yeah, so one, their face. They're constantly smiling, and it's kind of eerie to see it when you're just walking by, but it is also very cute. And just feeding them in general, again, I've been doing this for years. I feed them constantly, and I still jump.
How did this turtle come to represent here?
So this animal was actually at the Bronx Zoo before it came here. I'm not sure if it was hatched there or not, but that's who we received it from.
And is this turtle or your monomods in general part of an SSP program?
Not right now, and they aren't even considered endangered in the wild. They're least concerned.
Which is one of the few animals out there probably now that are least concerned.
Especially
which is great to hear when you do.
Yeah.
Reptiles and amphibians in general are typically always endangered or they're vulnerable at least.
Yes.
So it's always good to see a reptile, amphibian, or really any animal in general that's least concerned.
Especially when living in the Amazon.
Exactly.
Yes.
Especially with all the habitat loss out there. It's just, the fact that these guys are doing so well, that's good news.
That's all we can ask for.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about this weird looking, very interesting turtle.
Of course.
I just can't go over the nose.
They're very strange.
They're a very weird animal, but I love turtles. Everyone on the YouTube knows that I love turtles, so.
It's a good one.
Given the opportunity to do a video about the mama turtle and just how unique they are, I had to do it when given the opportunity. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and as always, I will see you next week.